Digital subscription to the Son of Man Speaks magazine will also include our monthly e-newsletter, both delivered to your inbox. If you have any questions regarding the digital magazine subscription or digital newsletter, you may send an email to shabazprinting@thenewnationofislam.com. That's shabazprinting@thenewnationofislam.com. Or call 1-601-786-9788. That's 1-601-786-9788. You can also subscribe online. Visit www.thenewnationofislam.com and click on the magazine tab to register for your online subscription.
Are your clothes coming apart at the seams? Universal Seamstress and Tailoring has got you covered. At Universal Seamstress and Tailoring, we specialize in a wide variety of alterations and transformations to make and keep your clothes looking and fitting their best. From hem jobs to downsizing suits and dresses for a perfect fit to replacing zippers and buttons, Universal Seamstress and Tailoring is your one-stop shop for clothing maintenance. Also, do you have a logo for your clothes you'd like to wear? Universal Seamstress and Tailoring can put it there. That's right. At Universal Seamstress and Tailoring, we not only do alterations, but embroidery as well. Shirts, pants, coats, hats, even bags. If you can wear it, we can embroider it. So remember, whether it be alterations or embroidering you need, Universal Seamstress and Tailoring has got you covered. Universal Seamstress and Tailoring is located at 1404 Main Street, Fayette, Mississippi. Come and see us or give us a call at 601-786-0540.
Capital Area Planning Services offers a variety of services catered to your land development needs. We offer landscape design, residential design, land planning, mapping and consulting services, and more. We have over 20 years of design and land planning experience. CAPS LLC offers services to developers, builders, architects, surveyors, contractors, government agencies, and private landowners. Feel free to contact us to find out which services are available in your area. You may reach us at 601-326-2966. That's 601-326-2966. You can also visit us on the web at www.capsllconline.com. Let us put on our thinking caps to serve your land development needs.
Year-Around Landscaping has been serving Metro Detroit for over 20 years, offering various landscaping, lawn care, property maintenance, and home renovation. Our professionalism has earned us an outstanding reputation, while our creativity, integrity, and dependability have kept our clients returning and referring us to others. At Year-Round Landscaping, we prioritize quality customer service. We treat every client as our only client before, during, and after providing our services. We believe in building solid relationships with our clients and ensuring their satisfaction. Whether you need a complete outdoor makeover, indoor renovation, or routine maintenance, we have the expertise and resources to deliver outstanding results. Our team is committed to providing exceptional service and completing every project to the highest standard. To schedule an estimate or consultation, please call us at 248-843-6139 or visit our website at yearroundlandscaping.net.
Year-Around Landscaping. One source, unlimited resources.
For all facets of professional hair care and braiding, come to Sisters Braid 2, located at 18070 Mount Elliott in Detroit. We specialize in braiding and natural styles, knotless box braids, feed-in braids, scalp twists for men, women, and children. We specialize in all facets of healthy hair. Try our natural oils to keep your hair healthy. 313-826-0498 or 248-372-1738.
Murray, out of the pocket. 7 seconds. 6 Engineering, your #1 emergency generator source.
Power outages can be unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life. With a backup generator, your life goes on uninterrupted with power when you need it. Not to mention the peace of mind of having your property suited to weather the storm.
Whoever would have thought in Houston, Texas, that we would have an ice storm? It did happen, and that Sunday night when it came in, I got up and looked out the front door. Everything was pitch black. It was horrible. Something out of a novel or science book that you had never seen before. Once the lights went out, my generator popped on. It ran 55 hours. The only one had lights.
Get your backup generator installed with Quality Construction. We install both residential and commercial generators, so you're always covered. Schedule your consultation with us by calling 1-855-876-9370. That's 1-855-876-9370. Or visit us online at www.powerqec.com. That's www.powerqec.com. Financing is available with low monthly payments and 0% interest for 18 months.
That was the best investment that we could have ever made. That's my backup, the generator.
Generators with Quality Construction, built tough enough to weather the storm.
I just used your other one though today because it was, look, it did 2 drips and I was like, oh, I can use my umbrella. My homegirl was talking about it. I'm like, don't talk about it.
With our umbrellas, our customers are turning a drab day into a fab day. After all, representation matters. In other words, rain or shine, we've got you covered. Introducing Designs by Deej, your one-stop gift shop for all things handmade and unique. Our products range from our most popular umbrellas, blanket and pillow sets, handmade coasters, and other statement pieces that showcase the beauty of our melanin and natural hair in a beautiful and empowering way. You can find our brand at the sister shop locations in New Jersey and Atlanta, Georgia, or you can visit our website, www.designsbydeej.com. Again, that's www.designsbydeej.com.
For elite carpet, floor, and upholstery cleaning, call Supreme Steam Cleaning. For pressure washing on your house and driveway, call Supreme Steam Cleaning. Flooding in your house or building? Supreme Steam Cleaning's got you covered with our emergency water extraction services. Transform the rooms in your home with floor installation, repairs, and more. Give us a call today at 601-720-5138. That's 601-720-5138. Visit our website, www.supremesteamclean.com, and follow us on social media at Supreme Steam Cleaning. When you need an elite team, call Supreme.
SOS Graphic Design provides agency quality professional graphic design services from established companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo to complete rebranding and delivering visual communication with print media. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unified objective: to set your business apart. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166, or online at www.sosgraphicdesigns.com.
To make your online tithes, offerings, donations, gifts to the Son of Man through Cash App, make your payment to $New Nation of Islam. That's $New Nation of Islam. Or call 601-786-7056. 601-786-7056.
We would like to invite you to help support the efforts of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. Visit the website at www.unityandrebuildingfund.com. That's www.unityandrebuildingfund.com. We often hear how we need to work together to rebuild the city, and we're actually doing it. You can make online donations and click on links to track the progress of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. And for more information, 313-868-0000 is a local number. Again, 313-868-0000. Support the Unity and Rebuilding Fund.
Pick up your copy of the Son of Man Speaks magazine today. With the Son of Man Speaks magazine, you'll receive automotive tips, wholesome recipes, financial advice, and most importantly, a true understanding of the Word of God. Get your copy of The Son of Man Speaks from these select locations. Sisters, Braid 2, 18070 Mount Elliott, the Shell gas station, 13110 West 7 Mile Road. To get a subscription, call 601-786-9788. That's 601-786-9788. The Son of Man Speaks magazine, dedicated to becoming free indeed.
Thank you for your patience. There's no easy way to say this, but your baby has a catastrophic brain abnormality.
What does that mean?
It means that parts of her brain didn't form. Your daughter, if she is to survive, will live only a matter of hours after birth. During that time, she will experience a multitude of seizures and ultimately aspirate on her own bodily fluids. She will suffer. A decision will need to be made on termination. I wish I could tell you what to do, but there is only one person who can make this choice.
How much time do we have?
And that person is Greg.
Greg?
Who the is Greg?
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Brothers and sisters, are you tired of reading the Holy Scripture and not really understanding what you read? And if you're reasonably sure, have you ever tested that what you feel you know with someone that has a different view than your own? Then let's talk with one another. Then let's reason with one another on a Scriptural Discussion with the Son of Man every Wednesday at 9 p.m., Friday at 9 p.m., and Sunday at 12 noon on WHPR TV Detroit Live, 88.1 FM WHPR, and Comcast Cable. Why don't you call and discuss the Holy Bible? And if you have one, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scriptures and their true meaning. You can call in live on the air at area code 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. That's 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 313-868-0351. And now, let's go live with a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just, I greet you all once again who are hungry and thirsty for the true understanding. Excuse me. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. I thought I took this thing off of mute, and I hit the button. I guess I didn't hit it hard enough. Y'all should have told me that the people in the phone wasn't hearing the... In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just, I greet all of you once again who are hungry and thirsty for the true understanding of the Word of God and for the truth in general. I greet all of you with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's Salam Alaikum. We want to give those who have questions or statements they want to discuss with us. We always want to afford you the opportunity to do that.
Yes, sir. We have a question from Akil Muhammad, and he saw the video that you played last night, and he wants to know what's being built.
Oh, that's our auditorium. We have our. I'm speaking to you out of what would have been our cafeteria, but we making it serve us right now as our auditorium. But that building that you see coming up over there, that's the new auditorium. And so we just taking it a building at a time. We look forward to christening it, if it pleases Allah, about it before the year is out. Was there something else?
No, sir.
Okay. Now, I was as I was working today, I was listening to some of Minister Farrakhan's reflections on some of the things that the messenger had said to him. And I thought I would bring that up to you today too. He I think I started at point 25, 29.
On last week's issue, why Zombie Elijah Muhammad gonna come back? And he said, when he said let white folks come in the temple and become a part of the nation, and that did it. Poor sisters, some of the sisters, you know, we really
see now, this was when he was teaching for W.D. Muhammad. And he was out there justifying, trying to justify everything that they was doing that was contrary to what they had been taught. And but it's like with everything. When people don't know as much as they try to convince you that they did know, they wind up lying. Do you understand? And instead of saying I'm just as confused as you are about this particular thing here, just like one place in there, he said that when a baby comes out the womb, the baby don't try to crawl back up into the womb. Once it's out, it's out. But you notice, most of you, now this is something you have to reflect on yourself. I'm talking about those who was in the nation when the messenger was here. Did you go back to the things that he had pulled you out of? That's the one thing that I just couldn't do. I couldn't go back to smoking and drinking. Like Farrakhan said, he went back to drinking and smoking cigars and that kind of thing. I couldn't do that. That was just something that, many, while the messenger was here, was doing that. Smoking and going on while they knew that he taught us we don't do that. The Holy Quran says, it's just like people who the Arabs and the many other people in the Orthodox world of Islam. I've seen you all smoking and now they even talking about selling alcohol, even though they may not drink it. But the fact of the matter is, any intoxicants, Allah said that they are not good. We should not. We should avoid intoxicants and games of chance. And you notice you never see me participating in those type of things. I know cigarettes are intoxicants. I used to smoke. And when I first inhaled, it got me high, as you call it. That's what we used to call it. You get high because it's cutting off oxygen from your brain. You see? And so when you take when you inhale that stuff into your lungs, it's taking up space that air should be taking up. And that's why you get lightheaded. But anyway, as I was listening to him, he hadn't completely forgotten everything that the messenger had said to him, but he was picking and choosing what he believed and what he was willing to throw away. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was the messenger of God. Whatever the messenger of God gave you, you should never throw it away. Because it was needful, or Allah wouldn't have gave it to him to give to you. It's just like people that think that the prophets, each person should follow their own prophet. Well, that's true. But those prophets were sent for one reason: to take away your excuse for not following and accepting the Son of Man. And we shall cause thee as a witness against these, and call him as a witness against his people. And all of them, Confucius, Buddha, all of the prophets, I defy you to find anything in their teachings that you can fight me with. You're not going to get away with rejection of me. You are not, you don't have excuses. Because everything that I'm sharing with you, the prophet that you said you believed in shared that same thing with you. The demands that I make on you, what prophet didn't make that demand on you that you submit and obey him? This ain't new. It's just the first time that the whole world was being brought into the state of judgment. And before him shall be gathered all nations. And all of those scriptures, I don't care which scripture you got, Muslims believe in all of them. There's no such thing as believing in one and don't believe in the other. Y'all done seen that. When you got a lot of houses out here built. Did the same contractor build all of them? But when you go to the city and you see a house being built, or when you see structures being built, all of them had to go by the same building codes. I didn't hear you. The scriptures ain't for one particular people. The scriptures are for all people. It's not but one righteousness. Right is not right on one continent. Right is right on every continent. Or it's not right. Wrong is wrong. Everywhere you go. Do you understand? So, now some of y'all that's listening, you if you got a question on something that's said, the time to ask the question is the time that the question was created. Never be afraid to stop any speaker that creates a question in your mind and say, hey, wait a minute, what you just said, especially if that person claims to want to lead you or want to teach you. Then how are you going to teach me if I can't stop you when you've lost me? How can I follow you if you're going too fast for me to keep up? Huh? Does anyone that's listening to me got a question? Okay. You know, I'm showing you what you should have been doing to all these people that you done gave your allegiance to and everything. If you had did and demanded of them what you see me doing, I'd be the only one teaching. You know, when you hear a man declaring that everybody who's teaching you a particular subject matter, that everybody who's teaching it other than him is lying to you, you don't think that's worth reporting to the one you follow? I know why you don't think it's worth reporting. You see, remember, the messenger said concerning me, he said, Son of man, Allah hath made you a teacher who sees into the depth of things. So, you know, I mean, if ever my followers heard somebody say that a broad statement like that, that anyone who's teaching something contrary to what they are teaching is lying, my phone would be ringing right away. And the first thing on it would be mail out something like, son of man, you know it's a man out here saying such and such. I mean, that's what they would do. Now, why these other people ain't doing that with their leaders? It's because deep down they know they're being lied to. They like it. You know, they like what they like what they're being told. You know, it's just like the people who listen to Fox News and Newsmax. You don't never hear nothing contrary to what them boys are saying, and they don't never look into nothing that they being told. It's because they like being lied to. You notice it's like it's strange to see. I mean, I was really surprised that Michael Cohen didn't say, you ought to know you working for Donald. You know, everybody lies that work for Donald. I mean, that's a given. They would have wanted to declare a mistrial if he'd have said that, you know. But you cannot look. If I'm lying, in order for you to back me up, you got to lie too. I wish I could do closing arguments on that. I bet you I'd take that and use it on it. You know? It's just like, you know, you come in here and you know that I mean, how you gonna know what went on in the house if you don't talk to somebody who's in the house? Come on. So, Michael Cohen is a crook. Well, that's the only one. Donald Trump is a crook. He wasn't going to have nobody around him that wasn't a crook. And it got found out that Michael Cohen got convicted of his crookedness. And he told them that Donald Trump was doing it for Donald. Donald Trump as good as said that all of them is crooks. He said he flipped. I mean, Donald Trump is the president of the United States. He was the president of the United States. What are you doing using the term they flipped? And calling him a rat. He's a rat. As I told you, that don't take a rocket scientist to understand that you're dealing with a mob boss pretending to be a president. I didn't hear you. I mean, oh, y'all saw The Godfather? I mean, good gracious. I mean, that movie done been on and off. And Goodfellas. That's how Donald Trump said he's a good guy. He's a good guy. You know, I mean, that's how he talk. I hire good people. Good people. Why? The first thing he wants is your allegiance. I mean, it's all, everybody who's supporting him, they know what they supporting. And don't you fool yourself. They know exactly what they are supporting. They know he ain't fit for that office, which tells you they don't really give a rat's tail about this democracy. It's just like, tell me something. I asked you this in this article that's coming out. How long does something have to be checked or be experimented with before you realize whether it works or not? What would you say? A vaccine that has been checked for a couple of years, is it still experimental? If they ain't found nothing wrong with it. They made the mistake, and I say it's a mistake. Democracy is no longer an experiment. You've had a functioning democracy here for 240 years. Why do they still refer to it as the grand experiment? To convince you that they don't know if that's subtly suggesting that they don't know if it really works or not. They do know it works. But once you give the people power to control their government, when you give people the power to elect government, you are putting the control of their government in their hands. So anyone that takes the position, whoever put you in that position, that's who you serve. Makes sense. He that is more knowledgeable among you, choose him to be your servant. That ain't the way Jesus said it, but that's what it meant. Let him that is greatest among you be the servant of all. Greatest in knowledge and understanding. By all means, let that one be at the head of you, so that you can benefit from that knowledge, that great knowledge of that person. You see? This democratic republic was just a shadow of the world to come. That's what's written. And so the reason that this came to you first was because they were walking away from the Word of God, not towards it. When you walking towards the sun, your shadow is behind you. When you walking away from the sun, your shadow is in front of you. You see? And so your shadow will get there before you will. Do you understand? So all praises that. So this democratic republic got here before the kingdom of God got here. So, but now the kingdom of God has come. That's why I can stand up here and talk to you for hours and hours and hours, and I'm still the only one talking, because the knowledge that's in this head is above all heads. He that's from above And I'm coming to you from the Holy Scriptures, which is above all y'all's heads. Not just the over the heads in this room looking at me, but over the heads on these screens. If that ain't so, I owe you $50,000. Now come in here and show me that you are equal to me. How many hands went up?
No hands went up, sir.
How many text messages did you get?
None.
There you go. So, since you know you're not my equal, when I warn you about things, don't you think you should take it seriously? And you know that it's prophesied that the Son of Man is not warning you for your destruction. The scripture says, give them warning to save their lives. I gave you warning back in 2016 and you ignored me. I'm warning you again. Did Donald Trump say he was trying to restore the soul of America? Joe Biden did. And has his actions been that of restoration or destruction? Donald Trump acknowledged himself. He's a wall builder. Joe Biden is a bridge builder. How can you claim to be great if you're scared of everybody? When you say the United States is a great nation, the United States has an open door policy that your beliefs and your way of thinking do not frighten the United States, its people or its government. When your people choose to leave you to come to the U.S., they are telling you that the U.S. is better. Or they wouldn't have left you. You don't have to convince with television or whatnot nobody that the U.S. is great. Just look at all of the people that's trying to get in here. There is no greater hope that you can offer people than the freedom to exercise their God-given free will. And tell them that your only limits is that you must stay inside of the laws that make sure that while you willing something, you're not infringing on somebody else's rights. Do you understand? So, I mean, their Pledge of Allegiance tells you just about sums it up. It's not a godless country. As I said, one nation under God. How you know it's under God? Where did they get this form of government from? Where did they get the idea for the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and all of that? Where did it come from? When you read it, you can't find nothing in there you could condemn. Only only thing that I know of that you can't condemn is the truth. And I know who the author of truth is. Allah is the author of truth. The truth is the author of truth. And the truth is what gave them dominion over a tyrannical king. The truth guided them out from under him. Just like the truth now guiding us, who will listen, out from under slavery. And guiding us out peacefully. We wasn't put here to fight our way out of slavery. If we did that, if my kingdom was of this world, then would my followers fight that we should kill those who enslaved us? That's not killing them, it's becoming them. I'm not interested in becoming, practicing the way of rulership that somebody who enslaved me practiced. No. Because then all I'm doing is becoming them. I don't need him to show me how to be free. How can somebody who's a slave show me how to be free? That man is a slave to his own desires. He's a slave to his own evil. He's a slave to the things that he made with his hands. Not me. You know how much time I spent working on some of these buildings around here? When they caught on fire, did I act like I was so hurt? No. It's only thing that I was concerned about was where I'm going to put my followers now, or whatnot. I'm concerned over it. I think that's done. No sense sitting down whining and going on over that. Then I appreciated the fact that my daddy never let me sit down whining about nothing. No. Don't whine. When the three little pigs, they blew the house down, they went and built a better one. I didn't hear you. You remember that story, don't you? And when he blew that one down, he went and built another one. But they didn't build it the same. Right. Till they finally had one that he couldn't blow down. Is that right? There you go. Dude, I was laughing with brothers last night about we used to be catching buckets of water in our building. We ain't got no buckets catching water no more. No. So what did we lose? We ain't lose nothing. When life deals you lemons, if you believe it's the will of Allah, he gave you them lemons for you to open up a lemonade stand instead of sitting there crying. Huh? There you go. So all praises due to Allah. So, listen. Then we'll talk some more.
And at first, when the sisters began dressing differently, sisters would look at them, Before long, you see the sisters in the street. They look just like the whole rest of our people. And our sisters out there said, good God, I was just getting ready to come in and put them on a uniform. And now them sisters look like me. Now, I don't know what the hell is going on in that place, but I ain't going there. Some of you heard this. He said, when he said let white folks come in the temple and become a part of the nation, and that did it. That did it. Some of us I don't believe he's dead no way. I'm trying to pick up on your mind. And if you keep on walking with me, I think I have your mind pretty well after a while. Say, who seen him in the casket? No, this was a thing.
Now, before I let him finish, he was talking about the sisters being taken out of the, taking the garments off. And what actually was happening was the fulfillment of the Holy Quran's statement that in the hereafter, this is the seventh chapter of the Holy Quran. And when WD had told them to take those garments off, they didn't have to. They chose to after he told them to. If they didn't want to take them off, what could they have done? That should have been a sign for them to do what? Get out of there. Uh-huh. No, I'm not going to take this garment off. I'm going to take you off. I'm out of here. Do you understand? But some of them were saying it's about time. Yeah. Okay. In the 7th chapter of the Holy Quran, let's see where I want to start. This looks like a pretty good place to start right here. Let's see. Y'all give me a minute here. The 26th verse. It says, O children of Adam, every messenger of God was the last Adam. Do you understand what I'm saying? The first Adam was the jinn. The last Adam is the Lord from heaven. Where did all of the messengers of God tell you they was from? If they from God, they from heaven. I didn't hear you. And as the Jesus said, I am from above. You are from beneath. Huh? Okay. He says, O children of Adam. And by the way, who you ever know of, you read the scriptures? Which prophet did you ever see lose an argument with somebody? When people came to Jesus trying to argue with him to murder somebody, he made them put their rocks down with his argument. Whenever anybody came to the messenger of God, whatever they thought they could argue with him about, they found out that they couldn't. Huh? He that's from above is above all. And it says, O children of Adam, we have indeed sent down to you clothing. If it's sent down, it's from above. I didn't hear you. Clothing to cover your shameful acts. Now let's put it in proper perspective. O children of Adam, we have indeed sent down to you knowledge to cover your shameful acts, and knowledge for beauty, for beautiful conduct, and knowledge that guards you against evil. That's the best. This knowledge is of the messages of Allah, that you may be mindful. Huh? that you may be mindful, that you may be in charge of yourself. What do you think you meant when it said mind your manners? Be mindful of your manners. Be in charge of your manners and how you conduct yourself. Okay. O children of Adam, let not the devil, the deviser of illusion, I will certainly make evil fair seeming to them. Let not the deviser of illusion seduce you. That's better than saying it their way, because that's a mystery. Somebody asks you, well, who's the devil? You don't know what the devil is. And if I hadn't told you, you still wouldn't know. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the white man is the devil. But he didn't go no further with it from there. He also said that now don't go blaming him for being what you made him. He said, don't go blaming them for what you put in them. Blame yourself for putting it in them. That's what he said. Then they didn't know where to go with that. But I knew where to go with it. I went to study hall. Before you can act, you have to know how to act. He knew that I would get the message after I studied. That's why the book says, study to show thyself approved unto all of those who brought the word. The messenger said it like this. He said, whenever Allah chooses a messenger, these 12, they go into conference to see if he's up to the job. What is that? If any of them disagree with his way, he ain't up to the job. Do you understand? You can't contradict the ones who were told to bear witness to you. When you start contradicting them, you're not verifying them. So how can they bear witness to you? Do you understand? Allah told his messengers, his prophets, to bear witness. Well, then he also said that a messenger will come to them verifying that which was with them, not contradicting it. Okay. How many of you all disagree that I verify what I'm verifying that Prophet Muhammad taught the truth? See? Now, y'all had the book a long time before I got here. But the Holy Quran says their parable is that of a jackass carrying books. Just because you carrying the book don't mean you understand it. This is what I was born for. Allah made me complete when he made me a slave. Because none can come to Allah except as a slave. Allah don't need you and me to do anything for him. He is above need of us because Allah is the truth. The universe would get along fine without all these life forms in it. The truth would still be the truth. Do you understand? So, since Allah is the truth, how are you going to reap benefit from the beneficent if you don't want to serve him? The more you serve the truth, the more you benefit. I bear witness. So I'm in my proper place as his servant. And he taught me how to serve others. And there's nothing wrong with serving. You make yourself very useful, and you make yourself by serving, you make yourself needed. You'd feel pretty funny walking in a restaurant, sitting down, and just sitting there. Pretty soon you would want to know, well, where's the service? Where's it? You need that service. That's what you came in there for, to be served. You know what determines our value? Is how much service we are able to give. We could hate a thing while it is good for us. And we could love a thing while it is not good for us. It's just like all these lazy devils walking around here trying to run all of these, as they say, close the borders and whatnot. You close the borders, you ain't got nobody to pick your fruit. Stupid. They think fruit grow in Walmart or Whole Foods and all that kind. No, it don't. Those are them people that you say is not fit for your country. I bet you I can outbuild any white boy. So it wouldn't make you think you better than me. Anybody who can outthink you can show to do everything else better than you. Now don't you think just because you don't see me doing something that I can't do it. It ain't nothing I can't do. Long as Allah's with me, I can do whatever I want. The only difference in can and can't is truth. With the truth, you can. Without the truth, you can't. There's a truth that taught them how to enslave us. And now there's a truth that's teaching us how to be free. Just that simple. You're never going to get free if you don't know how. He patted himself on the back for being able to hold a country for 200 and something years and have peaceful coexistence even while in disagreement. And they didn't give credit to the God. They started thinking it was them. And now look at them. Helping to rip up their own constitution, helping to destroy their own government, getting out there. People, you had senators in court this week coming out of court telling the people don't trust the court system. And they making the laws. You ever heard such crazy? What is the point of you making laws if you're going to tell the people don't trust the people who enforcing your laws? That's just crazy. And they listening to them. I said, remember I told him, I said, you think you're going to be fighting me. No, you ain't. You're going to be fighting each other. And I will sit here and watch you kill each other. That's what you get for planning to kill me. That's what you get for planning to destroy what I'm trying to build. You're going to lose what you have built. Now, it's for enough of them that's want to do right. I told them I'm going to help them. But you better step up and start speaking up and standing up. So, it says, O children of Adam, let not the devil seduce you. Remember, devil is deviser of illusion. When somebody devises or thinks up an illusion, you've seen magicians, Pharaoh's magicians. Remember, magicians make you think you seeing something that you ain't seeing. Is that right? It just appears that you seeing something. Huh? The sunrise is proof of that. It literally looks like the sun is rising. But it ain't. The sun's standing still. I didn't hear you. It's the earth that's turning. And it says, let not the devil, the deviser of illusion, seduce you with his tricks, as he expelled your parents from the garden, pulling off from them their clothing, making them think that their knowledge was inferior to his, that he might show them their shame. Huh? You following a man that was... Do you know white people, when they was in the cave, they're the only people that wasn't worshiping nothing. The Native American worshiped something. Even on the cowboys, they show you he worshiped the Great Spirit. And then he had a totem pole representing the different gods of this and gods of that. Huh? Everybody worshiped something but him. That's one of the reasons why he was called the beast. And it said, he listening. He can stop me if I say something that ain't true. I'm not saying this to mock him. I'm just setting the record straight. He surely sees you. He, as well as all of those who have his mind, his hosts, from whence you see them not. I mean, he was right in front of us. Well, speak of the devil. And we standing right there. We didn't hear him, and we didn't see him. And yet, he was right there. Hey, bub! What's happening, bub? That's the devil's name. Beelzebub. Surely. See, I'm verifying the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he says, surely we have made the devils to be the friends of the Uncle Toms. What is Uncle Tom? Come on now. What did I tell y'all last night? No. See, now how you going to answer a question if you don't first know what the question is?
You said to take your time, think about what you're going to say, and then say it.
Why? What is the hurry to start answering before the answer is there for you to give a clear answer? You don't have to speed to answer nothing. What is our Uncle Tom? See, you think that you can just learn something from hearing it once or twice. You have to study in order to learn. Scientists don't come up with vaccines from looking at a culture one time. It's painstaking. They'll look at it and study it from different magnifications. The first thing they want to do is understand the virus or the disease. How can you start talking about fighting a disease if you don't first understand how the disease works? That's why they culture them. Then after culturing it, learning how it reproduces, learning what it does, then they start trying different things that may hinder it from doing what it does. And if they find something that hinders it, then they test it on them little laboratory animals. You see? So it is the same. It says, surely we have made the devils to be the friends of those who believe not. And Uncle Tom is a black person that hates black people. You see? In other words, it's a black man with a white man's mind. We know why white folks hate us, because we made them to hate us by making them think that we was going to murder them at the end of 6,000 years. That's enough to make somebody hate you. Believe me. But we told them that that curse was going to be on them until the day of judgment. Now that I'm here, I've made it clear to them that that was left up in the air like that so that you would do what you did to us to put us in a position where we felt really threatened. And by us being threatened, we knew our genes would produce a greater black man, a wiser black man. And we would no longer have no council of 12. We'll have one supreme being. And we will also have unlimited progress. Because the mind that is in the one that is produced is an ever-expanding mind. If you don't think that's true, just study my history. You can't come in my class and think you're going to be able to know what I'm going to teach on. Even when you think you already knew something, you find out that there's more to it than you thought. You see? That's because the mind that's in me is like this universe. It's just ever expanding. I see more and more and more. The more I see, the more I see. And that's, it's not a thing about seeing and being satisfied. Do the eyes ever say, I see enough? No, they wasn't made to see enough. They was there to see more. So now I see more. And that wouldn't have happened if we hadn't made the devil. So remember, Solomon said there's nothing new under the sun. That which has been will be, and that which will be is that which has already been. And then Jesus said, the queen of the south came from the utmost parts of the earth just to hear the wisdom of Solomon. And a greater than Solomon is here. That's why Masonics and all that teaching, that stuff is being phased out now. You know, there is no knowledge to supersede the mind that is now being offered to you. Ain't nobody to replace me. Haven't you noticed? You read the scriptures that don't tell you about nothing after the Son of Man. No, don't tell you nothing. It tell you about the coming of the Son of Man, and after that, that's it. There's no way that you would have ever thought that a subject as controversial as religion could ever be taught and nobody would argue with it before I got here. And some of you all witnessed my growth from childhood to adulthood in Islam. You used to see me arguing with people and people standing up offering all kind of arguments against me. And you watched it gradually stop. We got a preacher coming in Sunday that a brother found when he didn't send him to our site. If you send him to our site, he ain't coming. If you want to get him in here, don't send him to our websites so he can start watching me and he gonna know he can't argue with me and he ain't gonna come. Because he making money off of what he doing. That's why preachers are preaching. It's not because they love God. It's because they love money. It ain't got nothing to do with God. If he loved God, he wouldn't be out there lying till my God sent him, when he know he did not get sent by God. As far as he's concerned, God does not actually exist. And even when I share with them that God is the truth, then they say, well, there ain't no God. The poor pitiful thing. Why you think it says that he called them gods, to whom the word of God, to whom the truth came? That was God with the truth there. In the beginning was the truth, and the truth was with God. And the truth was God's God. When the truth is with you, God is with you. That's God in you. Ye are the temple of God. Do you understand? But there's one best knower of the truth. And you looking at him. And when they commit an indecency, O children of Adam, let not the devil seduce you, as he expelled your parents from the garden, pulling off from them their knowledge or clothing of righteousness, that he might show them their shameful acts. He showed them new ways to commit all types of things, new ways of doing things that they would never have thought of themselves. And those new ways are shameful ways. And then it says, he surely sees you, he as well as all of those who are host to his mind, from whence you see them not. We have made the devils to be the friends of those who believe not on the Son of God. Yeah. Whosoever believeth in him should not perish. But he that believeth not on the Son is condemned already. They are the friends of the devils. Do you understand? Then it says, and when they commit an indecency, they say, we found our fathers doing this. It was good enough for my father. It was good enough for my mama. They got a song that say that. When old-time religion. That's all it could be is old-time, because righteousness had to be created. So all the religions that you had before the righteousness that's in the scripture here is nothing but a pile of filthy rags. That's your old-time religion. Then it says, we found our fathers doing this, and Allah has enjoined it on us. Surely Allah enjoins not indecency. Do you say of Allah what you know not? Yeah, that's what they do. God gave us this. Since when do God give you evil? When the devil said, take that from him and he'll curse you to your face, God said, all that he has is in your hand. You ask me to go over there and take it from him. You do it. You the grantor of dominion for right now. The truth that you have is what we allowing you to exercise right now. So you go and do that. But don't you take his life. Huh? Allah does not enjoin evil. That's the devil's department. Say, my Lord enjoins justice, and set upright your faces at every time of prayer, and call on him, being sincere to him in obedience. As he brought you into being, so shall you return. Most people don't realize, they never even think about the fact that their brain and brainstem attached to their spinal column, their spinal cord, looks just like that little wiggly tail that we call sperm. The little big-headed thing with the tail. The brain looks like a blowed up version of that. And as Allah brought us into being, we will return. This is the same. The said nation of Islam was brought into being by one man with a mission. And there was no nation of Islam thought before the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad brought the concept of nationhood to the ex-slaves of America. And that idea was conceived. It wasn't just a passing thought. It actually took root in one of our brains. And he knew whose brain it would take root in. The Son of Man. And now I'm building that nation. You see? I am the beginning and the ending. What is the birth record of the said nation of Islam? The said nation of Islam has no birth record. It has no beginning nor ending. There's nothing before or behind us that did not have a beginning. We may say nobody knows, but there was a beginning. Okay, if he said the nation of Islam has no beginning nor ending, It's because he knew that the Lord himself is the beginning, the author, and the finisher of that nation. That's me. I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord. And Abraham looked for a city or nation whose builder and maker is God. Do you understand? Okay. Now it says, a party has he guided, and another party, perdition, is justly their due. I mean, that connects in so many ways. It's just like the messenger said, I need a wrecker and a builder. A party has he guided, and a party, perdition, is justly their due. Why? You wrote a letter, as the book says, how shall Allah guide a people who, after, just a moment, let's go and read it. I'm not going to paraphrase it. Let's read it in chapter 3. And the 86th verse. How shall Allah guide a people who disbelieved after their believing, and after they had wrote a letter bearing witness that the messenger was true? Well, we all wrote that letter that was in the nation. It ain't nobody that was in the Nation of Islam that got an X that didn't write a letter saying, I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is thy true servant and last apostle. So how can I guide them when he, the Spirit of truth, is come? He will guide you into all truth. But how can I guide them if they disbelieved after I'm verifying the messenger now, but they don't believe in him no more? I didn't hear you. Okay. And clear arguments had come to them. And Allah guides not the unjust people. It's very unjust for you to say that you believe in the messenger when he's there with you. And after he passes away, you turn back to saying, I don't believe that. Didn't he give you a chance and offer you $10,000 and his life if you could prove one word that he was teaching was a lie? Did WD ever collect on that? You heard him stand up there saying he made a great mistake and I'm sorry for it. He said that, didn't he? So it says, that verse that I left off on, a party has he guided. Now let's look at the Democrat and Republican Party. A party has he guided. That's the Democrats. And a party, perdition, is justly their due. How can you let people sit up in your Congress, a law-making body, and go into the news media out of a court of law praising a lawbreaker and trying to condemn the people who are trying to uphold the laws that Congress made? perdition is justly their due. Surely they took the devils for friends instead of Allah. They chose lies and liars. They chose to obey liars. That's what friend is. You my friend if you do whatsoever I command you. You remember when Donald Trump said about Mike Pence, you ain't going to be my friend no more. That's what he told him, wasn't it? Yeah. Here it is right here on black and white. It says, surely they took the devils for friends instead of Allah. And they think that they are rightly guided. Huh? It don't make no difference what color they are either. They just run up there and kiss Mr. Boo-Boo, Boo-Boo diaper behind. Huh? Then it says, all children of Adam, attend to your adornment. That's the way they did W.D. Muhammad. Didn't make no difference what he said. He stood up in front of them and used the term MFs in front of them. And they didn't care. They stuck right there behind him. And so it says, but he said the words. It says, O children of Adam, attend to your adornment at every time of prayer, and eat and drink, and be not prodigal. Prodigal means wasteful. Surely he loves not the prodigals. Then the next verse says, say, who has forbidden the adornment of Allah? WD, first thing he did was took the garments off the sisters. Do you know that's one of the things that attracted me to the nation? To see sisters, our women, dressed so beautifully and covered. Who has forbidden the adornment of Allah, which he has brought forth for his servants, and the good provisions? Say, these are for the believers in the life of this world. Now, get this part. Purely theirs on the resurrection day. Now, when you see people, sisters dressed like we got them dressed, we the only ones dressed like that. Let's see. Thus do we make the messages clear for people who understand. Yeah. Now you see why they was made to take them off. Because they did not respect them. The messenger told them that in 74. He said, if you put on a white dress, clean and spotless, and in that dress is unclean, you cannot be respected like that. He said, we got to make our people more self-respecting. We got to clean out our house. Yep.
He just went away for 3 years, that's all. And he's letting the hypocrites take over everything. And we'll just hold on and be faithful. We know he'll return. All right, brothers and sisters, we don't want to waste a lot of time. But brothers and sisters, many of you who criticize the Honorable W.D. Muhammad and say that he has departed from the teaching of his father, really, how many of you really studied the teaching of his father? How many of you went into the teachings? I'm asking. Because many of you are so emotional. Many of you. No, not many, most of you. You didn't read nothing. You came to the mosque and you let the minister You didn't study what he wrote. That's why everything that came out was almost a new revelation, though it's old knowledge that he wrote years ago. And those of you who think you studied, we want to talk about it today. I'm here this afternoon as a lover of Master Farad Muhammad and as a lover of the Honorable Master Elijah Muhammad, may peace be upon him, and as a lover of the Honorable W.D. Muhammad, who is...
Boy, he sure a lover of everybody, ain't he? And don't love nobody. He turned on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He turned on W.D. Muhammad. And he turned on Master Farad Muhammad. And you heard him express that. And saw it. You know, didn't he leave W.D. Muhammad after standing up there calling him honorable? And that was the lie that he was telling. Wasn't nothing honorable about a man who pretended to believe something that he really didn't believe. That's not honorable. Huh? It's you come to me, and me and you come to an agreement. And I said, okay, we good on that. We good. And then walk away and dishonor our agreement. And all of us wrote that letter saying that we believed in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and that he was Allah's true servant and last apostle. And then just about everybody that wrote that letter denied him, following a son or offspring of his who was known to disbelieve in his father as the messenger of God. Do you understand that? Now don't come in here playing them little games with me. I got the history of these people. You can't undo history. History is your trail. History, if people want to know where you been and where you came from, they can follow your tracks back. And they'll see exactly where you went and where you've been. Do you know how many people got convicted of murder because of the tracks on the tire tracks that their vehicle left somewhere? Do you understand? I mean, your history is something, man. So W.D. had manifested that he disbelieved in the messenger when Malcolm left. W.D. was partially the cause of that. Sliding up next to Malcolm, whispering in Malcolm's ear. So, it wasn't like, you got it in message to the black man. Well, Wallace and Malcolm and the messenger's grandson. The messenger said that these boys, they don't, I was told about them 30-something years ago. That's what he said. So the public is surprised. I'm not surprised. I knew they would act like this. You see, this is, it wasn't no way I could follow W.D. Muhammad. I can't follow nobody who called the messengers of God liars. If you call one messenger of God a liar, you calling all of them a liar. Because they all verify each other. Okay, if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was not the Elijah that the Bible said would come before the great and dreadful day of the Lord, then where's Elijah? Elijah came and said, and the man of sin had to be revealed. Who's the devil? Elijah said the white man is the devil. The white man bore witness to that. Mayor Daley in Chicago, even the Kennedys were scared of Mayor Daley. The presidents were scared of Mayor Daley. Because Mayor Daley wasn't nobody's yes man. He declared Elijah Muhammad Day in the city of Chicago. And they asked him about it. The press did. Said, you declaring Elijah Muhammad Day, and Elijah Muhammad teaches that white people are devils. And Mayor Daley looked at him and said, if the shoe fit, wear it. But you think the devil don't know he the devil? He know he ain't got nothing to apologize for. Because God made him that. Only thing he have to be careful of is trying to keep on being that while I'm here giving him an opportunity to change. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. If you want to live, you better be changing. And I'm giving you the knowledge that will help you to be other than a devil. But don't try to run your game on me. Thou shalt not test the Lord thy God. You can't find no white folks that can accuse me of mistreating them or of disrespecting them. Matter of fact, black or white people. Ever since you've known me, you have known me to be respectful. You talked about me behind my back while grinning up in my face. Do you think that the Lord don't know what you've been doing? But I ain't you. I know why you do what you do, but you don't know why I do what I do. I already absolved you from blame. Ain't your fault. Whatever evil you've been doing, it wasn't your fault. It's the mind that's in you. Let this mind be in you that was in all of the messengers of God. Christ. And the only one can put it there is me. You better get yourself in these classes. Thus do we make the messages clear for people who understand. I'm making everything clear to you now. I'm gonna let Minister Farrakhan. You remember the messenger said his preaching is a bearing of witness to me in what Allah have given to me? You know, I mean, look, the messenger said the Son of Man, he said he's so wise and powerful that he makes everything of the creation to bear him witness. Yes. Everything of the truth in written and spoken form. That's the creation. In written and spoken form. You see. The truth has always been the truth, but it has not always been formed. Do you understand? Yeah. You see, when you look at a building, You're looking at a form of truth. See? It had to be formed before it could be made. It had to be created before it could be made. You see?
Leader, teacher, and guide, and I have no other leader but the Honorable W.D. Muhammad. Wait a minute.
Listen at him. He got no other leader but the Honorable W.D. Muhammad. Yeah. Well, we know how long that lasted, huh? You know, but he said the same thing about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Boy, he done got divorced and remarried I don't know how many times, huh? I mean, really, he dropped the messenger's teaching and picked up WD's teaching against the messenger.
I understand, by the permission of Allah, that in following the Honorable W.D. Muhammad, I am obeying Master Farad Muhammad and obeying the Honorable Master Elijah Muhammad. But many of you never did understand, and so today we want to give understanding, because you can't move until you understand what's going on and why. You hear the chief minister talking about body Christ, and we echo that. Body Christ. That the nation of Islam is the body Christ. I'm going to put that on the board. Remember this change. I don't know if you still refuse, but we'll...
See, now, there was a time when he was calling the nation of Islam the body Christ, and that's false. That was always false. Even the people over in the East, they corrected him on that, and he had to stop saying that from the Orthodox people. No, the whole earth is the body of Christ. Christ is the head. Every other human being is part of the body. Do you understand? As the head of every man is Christ. You see, when you say that the body Christ, no, the body Christ, if you put it in that term, you're talking about Jesus, Moses, David, Solomon, and all of them. But the body of Christ is humanity. Do you understand? And Christ is the head, just like you. When someone asks, when you meet people, you introduce yourself. You don't say, this is my so-and-so, this is my hand, this is my feet, you say, pleased to meet you. I'm, in my case, I'm the Son of Man. Or I'm Michael, or I'm Jamar, I'm Khadija, I'm Darlene, I'm Tahia. But you speaking for the whole body. Do you understand? But the communicator of the body is not the whole body. It is the head. The head is the name. Do you understand? The rest of the body is ignorant. Why? It is necessary for the rest of the body to be ignorant so that the body can be one with the head. And so the head is empathetic. All of the feelings of the body are felt and translated to the head. When there's a breakdown of communication between the foot and the head, then you can step on a nail and not feel anything. The foot is going to suffer for it, but it will be without feeling. Do you understand? what makes the head care about the body is that what affects the body affects the head. That's the way it should be. You see. And so, you know, there's no such thing as a true head that does not feel for the people that are connected to him. You know, you have to care. What hurts them hurts you. It's not a thing where, well, just too bad or whatever. No, it ain't just too bad. No, we got to do something about that. Brother is hurting. Sister is hurting. Do you understand? And when you have leadership like Donald Trump didn't give a damn about how many people was dying during COVID. He didn't care. Because what? He was a mob boss pretending to be a president. And even the best businessman would never. You cannot, anytime you deceive yourself into thinking that a businessman can be president, you are deceived. When a man that's a businessman, if he becomes president, he has to put his business dealings in a blind trust, they call it. He can no longer conduct business. No, somebody else had to be doing that, because now he got a nation, and he got to conduct himself as a father, not as a businessman. Because everything that he does has to be with his nation in mind and not his business. Running a country is not running a business. And you would know that if you had studied the history of this country. They don't call George Washington the CEO of their country. They call him the father of their country. Fathers don't have to get paid to protect their family. Something threatens the house or the household. You ain't got to beg father to get out there and do something. He going to do what he got to do to protect his family. Businessman says there are acceptable losses. That's the way Donald Trump looked at COVID. Well, if 50,000 people died, that's not bad. That we did good if we can save 50,000. That's not the way a father thinks. Which one of your children is acceptable to lose? Joe Biden didn't lie when he told the people that the unions created the middle class. There would be no middle class if unions hadn't been given bargaining power to increase their wages from their employers. The employers paid them whatever they saw fit to pay. And it was always less than they should have been paying them. Unions empowered them to say, look, we need more than just a living wage. We need a means of giving ourselves a upward mobility in life. And you ain't paying us enough. And we see what you selling our products for. Some of us can't even afford to buy the products that we making. Well, that's just too bad. I know what we're going to do. Hey, y'all, let's get together. If they won't pay us more, we're going to strike. To establish unions, it was hard in the beginning. Some people died because of the crooks who was arranging accidents, sending men to die in a coal mine because it was not economically feasible to provide aspirators and safety things for them so they wouldn't wind up with black lung. And these was white people doing that to white people. So don't tell me nothing about how you, I'm a Klansman and I love white folk. You don't love nobody. The minute some white person disagree with you, you want to kill them. And it's the same with people who claim to love black people. But when you look at, see what they're doing for black people, besides riling you up and then begging you for some money. I hear you. And then if anybody dare to disagree with them, they want something to happen to you. It's just a flip side of the same coin. Racism is not what we teach. Truth is what we teach. So, W.D. Muhammad, he was the wrecker. He let the devil out. Like Donald Trump, he let the devil out. Where they used to wouldn't say certain things, they wouldn't act a certain way. Oh, they've liberated now. To be just what they always was, but was hiding it.
Nation of Islam. And look at the word body, right. Brother and sister, to be respectful to yourself. Why say things and don't look into these things? If you say, I am a member of the body of Christ, look at this. This is what come out of his mouth. And a Mexican, or a Korean, or a Japanese, or a Caucasian comes to the door and wants to be a member in that body, and you look with funny eyes, what are they doing here? My question to you.
See, and the way he talking right there is hypocritical. Spanish Americans, Mexicans, they were in the nation. Japanese and Chinese people were always welcome in the temple. The only one we excluded, and by the messenger's orders, was white people. And that was because he knew white people made us nervous. He said if we swung them doors back on the hinges and let the whole world in here, you wouldn't have standing room, and since everybody else been used to ruling and you haven't, you could be easily cheated out of your time to rule. Because you used to doing what other folks say. You used to them being in charge, so you would naturally. Look what happened with Jim Jones. And some of them got upset, but all the people who was in charge of anything was white folks. Do you understand? Negroes are not used to having the last word. They're used to taking orders, not giving them. That's why when a Negro, and I'm saying that purposely, when a Negro get in charge of other Negroes, it always wind up arguing and bickering because they can't accept having somebody look like them telling them what to do. And that's your downfall. That self-hatred. As we said it, after a while, the white folks didn't have to say it no more. A nigga ain't nothing, never was nothing, never will be nothing. We said that. And that's why when we get over each other, we don't even know how to talk to one another. You don't pay no attention to how respectful I am of you when I'm talking to you. But you don't respect each other. It's just crazy. You ain't never gonna rise if you don't start showing respect for one another. You're supposed to treat other people like you want to be treated. Islam is not a club. It's a way of life. When you understand that you are not anyone's keeper but yourself, then you know you can't order people to do nothing. Just ask. You know, I would prefer to be able to just ask and somebody do it. I don't like people doing things for me that they don't want to do. You know, because it bothers me. You know what? You know, what I'm doing it because I want to. I do it for Allah's pleasure because I know it's the right thing and it pleases Allah. Whether you thankful or not, that ain't never stopped me from doing nothing. Because I didn't do it so much as for your thanks. I did it because it was the right thing to do. It is what I would want done for me. The messenger said, whatever you do for others, let it be that which you would want done for yourself.
What are you doing here? Because if you are not with the Honorable W.D. Muhammad, then why fool yourself? That's right. If you don't agree with the Honorable W.D. Muhammad, why not go where you can find agreement? But the reason you stay is because there's something here so attractive. Right. And it keeps holding you. So now that you are here, why not be here in spirit rather than be here just in body? We're going to explain by the help of Allah all the kingdom is undergoing evolutionary change. And there is a difference. What is the difference? Revolutionary change is change that comes that undoes, sweeps out an old order. We are in a revolutionary change because the old world order is prophesied to go out and a new world order is prophesied to come in. Why is the old world order going out? Because the old world order disrespects divine, disrespects truth and righteousness, disrespects freedom, justice, and equality. The old world order is racist. The old world order is sexist. The old world order is dualist. The old world order puts flesh against flesh and man against man. The old world order puts woman against man and man against woman. The old world order puts flesh against mind and mind against flesh, creation against creator and creator against his creation. That foolishness has got to go. To make way for truth. What kind of truth? A truth that will show men their relationship to God and their relationship to one another. Truth that will show women and men our relationship to God and our relationship to one another. Truth that will show the relationship of the creation to the creator, the flesh to the mind. All right. Well, if the old world order is going to go out, and the Bible says it goes out with a big noise. Right. See all the noise you've been making since the chief minister started talking? So I ain't made no noise. What has that been going on in your brain? If your brain hasn't been thundering, right, with the opposing forces clapping inside your mind. Oh, yeah, a lot of noise going on. But the pain that you are undergoing, brother and sister, is a natural pain. You shouldn't be disturbed about it. Every mother receives the germ of life in joy, pleasure. She is not thinking when she receives the germ of life that in a short while that pleasure is going to bring her to some terrible pain. In the infinite wisdom of Almighty God, He keeps you away from pain because He knows you won't come to pain. You come to pleasure. So He offers you something that pleases you, knowing that ultimately it's going to bring you to pain. But if you can go through the pain will bring you into new birth. Are you listening? Be patient with me, please. Mother, sometimes that pain is so great. Don't you curse today. You ever met that man? Am I right? Like some of you, deliver your baby cursing. But when you look at that little baby, at first when they bring it to you, you're happy, leave, and your pain is over. But when you look at that baby and begin to nurse that new life, see it grow and smile and move, you forget all about that pain in the joy of your new life. Brother and sister, so it is when you accept the germ
this is where he was talking in his sleep. People talk in their sleep, you know. They couldn't see that they had crawled back up into what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had brought them out of. But it was one that was missing from there. They know that I had left. You know, the womb was the nation. Everybody in the nation, once you wrote that letter and was accepted in, then you were like the eggs in the woman. And the womb was the temple. And the life germ was the teaching that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was given. And so everybody had an X. That's what the woman has in the womb. She has the X chromosome. And so, as the teaching was uniform, no matter what state or city you were in Muhammad's temple, you saw the same blackboard, you heard the same teaching, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was here with a knowledge that would, when it hit the right brain, it would conceive. The idea of nationhood would be conceived in the brain of that one person, because that one person that knowledge was designed to fertilize the brain of was the Lord himself, the Son of Man. And so everybody got an X. And from time to time, once they came in and didn't get fertilized, they passed away, passed on, left. Some of them hung around, but some of them left. It was a lot of people that came in and got an X and left. And so you saw what happened to Malcolm. Malcolm X came in and then he left. Like when the woman, when her monthly comes on, that egg is pushed out. You understand? And so he was in the right position to get fertilized, but he couldn't hold it. And so he left. And so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he had the knowledge that would raise up the Messiah. And the FBI and under J. Edgar Hoover, they had a program called Counterintelligence Program, COINTELPRO, to stop the rise of a black Messiah. You see? And for they was thinking that, you know, for the most part, that the Messiah would wage war and raise up and, you know, do that kind of fighting. But the Holy Quran condemns that. The Holy Quran says, nay, we take truth and hurl it against falsehood. So it knocks out its brains and lo, it vanishes. And woe to you for what you describe as holy war. Do you understand? And so with all their trying, there was no way they could stop what they could not understand. That was error, manifest error on their part, thinking that they was trying to stop something that they didn't understand what it was that they was trying to stop. And if you don't know what you're trying to stop, then you just swinging blindly. And so the truth cannot be stopped by falsehood. You see. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he knew after a certain time that he was not the Messiah, but he was the Elijah to come before the Messiah. And his that's one of the things he meant when he said, it's been I don't come out very often to teach, he said, because I'm forbidden to do so until the proper hour, you see. And when it was almost time for my entrance, he started teaching again because he was expecting me. And, he knew basically that 40 years had almost been. And so in 1972, he started teaching the theology of time. And then he said, this teaching will rise a powerful son of truth, you see. And that's what he was doing. He was leaving me like Jesus and all of them. They left wills. They left testaments for me. And they knew I would get them. And as Jesus said, he shall receive mine and show it unto you. Well, I receive all of them because that's what they were told to do. They were my tutors. And so he's going to, in a few minutes, tell you about, literally a few. He's going to tell you about a conversation that he had with the messenger. And, bits and pieces of true history were coming out of his mouth and some of the rest of them who was around the messenger all of the time. But they picked and chose what they would share with us. Do you understand? But the messenger knew. And he knew that, just like all of the prophets, they knew that I would come. And they knew that I would judge everybody. And there was nothing that nobody could do. No one could stop that. The truth fulfills itself. You see, it was right in front of us all of the time where it says Allah is the glorious doer of what he intends. And because the truth just takes up residence in human minds and then does what needs to be done. Do you understand? You see, that's what we were all matter is living material. And you know that you've had little moments that you'd be doing something and it's like it was a repeat of something that you had did before. They call it deja vu. Hasn't that ever happened to you? Anybody in here that ain't never had one of them moments? That is because since all matter is living material, then there is something of memories left in it is not a far-fetched idea to say that the material that composes our bodies now has been in other places at other times and has a little bit of that impression stamped on it. Do you understand? And so we are far more complex than we think. And being the temple of God. As he said, God dwells in temples not made with hands. That's us. Do you understand? You know, know ye not that you are the temple of God? Then the truth, being infinite and yet one, is it where other than the brain of man could you actually say that the truth could claim as a temple, as the temple of truth? That which is infinite cannot be housed by that which is finite. Our brains, though finite, the capacity for learning is infinite. And that's one of the things that I used to like to look at the Doctor Who. And he being that TARDIS that was bigger on the inside than it was on the outside. I said, somebody been paying attention, because that's the way our brain is. The brain is so small you can hold it in your hand. And the only thing that you can compare the inside of it to is the universe. It's just that big. It's ever expanding, which is indeed a miraculous thing.
Wait, I'm saying something. From the day that the baby leaves the womb, it don't even remember the womb. The memory of the womb is all wiped away. And the baby grows away from the womb. Is that right? So it is with knowledge.
Well, you can't remember anything of which you are not conscious. And the baby is not conscious in the womb. And that is a mercy. You see? The only somewhat consciousness that the baby has is through its mother. What she feels, the baby feels. And what affects her directly and indirectly affects her baby. Do you understand? But as far as the baby being aware of anything in the womb, no. You don't want that baby to wake up in that womb. It would drown. So,
a stage of knowledge, every stage of knowledge circumscribes for the people a womb. Good God, now what was it? A womb is a dark place, because all life is formed in the dark. Is that right? Never in the light. It comes from the darkness into the light after it is formed. Is that right? When every prophet of God came and brought knowledge to the people, that knowledge gave the people a womb of development. A womb.
Well, in actuality, we were not formed in darkness. We were formed in light. as the book says, and the light shined in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. You see, we know now that all matter emits light. Just because we don't see it with the way our eyes are formed does not mean there's no light there. If there's electrons there, there's fire there, and if there's fire there, there's light. And so we recognize now that the universe itself is just full of light. It's not dark, it's full of light. We created the darkness by the way we formed our eyes. But the universe is filled with light. And we don't say God is is the light, and then God is omnipresent and say the universe is filled with darkness. No, it is not. The truth is the light. God is the light. And God is omnipresent. No matter where you go and how far you go, you ain't gonna never get to the point where there's no light. Because Allah is omnipresent. It's like matter in the universe. Even the space that looks like nothing, that is something. I'll give you an example. Can nothing affect something? If the effect is real, what is the cause? So magnetism is matter. That's a good example of dark matter. Huh? Anybody? We got lots of people out there always waiting on something that they can discuss with me. Do you doubt what I just said? You notice a magnet. That magnetic force, you can't see it. But it's matter. That's why they call it lodestone. It's a natural magnetism. It's a natural currency flowing through it. That's why you can, on them lawnmowers, they got a magnet that passes a coil, and every time it passes there, it generates a spark. It generates electric current. You see? I think they call them magnetos. But that's a lodestone passing past a copper wound iron core, and it causes electricity to flow from that lodestone. You see?
For the idea of righteousness and truth and good to gestate, to grow. And when another prophet came, that prophet came to open the womb of that first knowledge and bring you out into another womb of higher knowledge. Naturally, when the new prophet came, why do you think people reject him? Because he don't come telling the people what they want to hear. He tells the people something that's going to cause the people to grow, and they're satisfied.
No, that's not why they reject the new prophet. They reject him because they rejected the one before him. Whenever you teach a subject, it's just like you and I. We went to school, and we had in this world, education have become a business. and by making it a business, it has suffered, because once you start, when you turn it into a business, then you hire the cheapest labor force you can get, to save money. But anyway, the main thing is you go from the first grade, and then that teacher finishes with you. But the school system is set up that you're going to have 12 teachers or more. You go to 12th grade, the first, second, third, fourth, all the way through 12. And those 12 teachers produced one student, which was you. You see? Now, depending on how many students is in the classroom, they produced, each one of those students is the result of 12 teachers, not one teacher, but of 12. Likewise, the reason people, didn't you know somebody who dropped out of school? Okay. How did they fare in life? Not very well, huh? Okay. The prophets were sent by one God, just like the teachers were set up by the the Department of Education of the United States. And the curriculum from New York to California, and all states in between, the curriculum of elementary, junior high, and high school was the same curriculum. Even though the teachers were many different teachers, every second grade teacher basically taught the same subject matter. So if you dropped out of school, it was because you didn't want to go to school. It wasn't like if you dropped out at the 5th grade, it wasn't because you didn't like the 5th grade teacher. It was because you just didn't like school. Do you understand? You didn't want what they were offering. Well, likewise, all of the messengers of God were sent by one God. It is revealed to me that your God and my God are one God. The one God that sent Moses also sent Solomon and David and Jeremiah and all of them. You just didn't want what God was offering. You didn't want righteousness. That's why you didn't believe in Jesus. Or that's why you didn't accept all of them. Because you dropped out. Do you understand? The second pillar of faith in Islam is that you must believe in all of the prophets. You must stay in school. You have to accept the school. So if you accept the school, then you go from kindergarten to 12th grade, and you get it all. But if you don't accept the school, you don't get it all. You drop out. You start trying to make a distinction or an excuse. But it ain't about the teacher, it's about the teachings. Do you understand?
Comfortable. They don't want the pain of giving up all ideas. They don't want the pain of leaving archaic truths that have somebody come to you to tell you some truth that you don't want to hear? I'll make it real simple. Maybe he's been out with somebody else or something like that. Somebody come to tell you about it. You don't want to hear it. It's pain, isn't it, to accept that kind of truth? Because in order to accept that kind of truth, you have to give up the old idea that he's faithful. And you know, people don't want to give up old ideas. They just want to hold on to them. So prophets have always had hard times. Okay? Now,
see, now he's actually subtly telling them that they need to give up what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, calling that old idea. But what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught was actually new. What they were trying to go to was old. Do you understand? And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had told us that. He said, all the world of Islam, what has happened, all the world of Islam has to learn what has happened here in America. Islam of Muhammad of 1400 years ago served that time. We need a new Islam to serve this day. My mission is to acquaint all black people on earth into the knowledge of a new God and new Islam. And there will be a new world altogether. And he's standing up there preaching what Wallace saying, as though the messenger's teachings was old and we need to get that up. You know, I understood where he was coming from, and I wasn't even there. You know, when I hear them how they was talking, from time to time I get little clips and glimpses, and I'll keep it as a record. And so that when later on, if and when they come before me, or somebody come to me trying to tell me about them, I tell them I know much more about these people than you do. You see, you don't know how far Minister Farrakhan has fallen, but I do, because I knew him when he had not fallen.
Bring this thing to a conclusion. Brothers and sisters, if you understand Master Elijah Muhammad's message, you would understand that it had a time limit on it. So many times, Master Elijah Muhammad would get up to a certain point at his table, and he would stop teaching. And then he would say to us, I would tell you more, but some of you would turn your
Yes, that's exactly what happened. The messenger did tell him that. He told his minister. He wasn't the only minister that said that. I think I heard Minister Kareem say the same thing, that the messenger would be talking sometime, and he would stop. He said, brother, if I teach you anymore, you'll start disbelieving. You see? And I'll show you something here. See, it's a lot of things that was out here that people didn't know was out here. Let's see.
Well, can we begin now? Because don't consider ourselves and していただいたわけですね。Did Mr. Ford appoint you as a lover, God's Bible? Or did you clarify that point? No, sir. As his messenger. Mr. Ford. I'm the messenger of God. Yes, sir. Yes. And in what position did Mr. Ford appoint you? He's God himself. And I am his messenger.
ファードさんがですね、神様自身であってですね、神様自身、ファードさんが神様自身である。そして自分はですね、その召使いである、召使いというかメッセンジャーであるというわけでですね、そのファード父のですね、使命を帯びてやってるわけです。Where is Ford living now?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. That is something that we just don't know.
Not because
where
not because it is a secret, but we just don't know.
Just don't know.
But how do you get instructions or teachings from her?
Well, he left me enough to last me for about, I would say, about 40 years. And he gives me instruction now, but it comes, a word in the ear.
直接聞くわけじゃなくて、耳からですね、指令っていうのは入ってくるというわけですね。そしてSo you heard the messenger say that he was given enough to last him 40 years. You see, so from 1930, when he, I think in 33, he started. Right before Master Farad Muhammad left, he had told him that he could teach so much, but don't tell, he said, give the babies milk and don't give them meat. He said, but you can go on now and start teaching. So in 1933, after about 3.5 years, he started sharing more of what Master Farad Muhammad had taught him. But from 1933 to 73 is 40 years. And so from 1934 to 74 is 40 years. So he gave his last sermon to us in 1974. But in that Savior's Day address, he said this. He said, for 43 years I have been teaching that God is man. So that take you back, and that was in February of 1974. And so he started counting from 1930. From 1930 to 1973 is to the end of 73 is 43 years. You see. And so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 72, he started teaching the theology of time, the study of God and religious truth of the Sabbath day. You see. And that's what the time was that he was talking about. Remember, the Son of Man is Lord of a particular time, you see. And so he knew that he was expecting me, because he had enough to last him for 40 years. And so after 72, when he was really settling in to teaching, in 32 or 33, it was almost 40 years. And that's how long his teachings would last him. So he knew that his teachings was to produce the one who would guide us and bring into fruition what he conceived. Nationhood. He conceived it. And before the nation suffered the fall, the nation gave birth to the Son of Man. Before she travailed, she gave birth to a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up to God and to his throne. I once knew a man who was caught up to paradise and heard unspeakable words that it is not lawful for a man to utter. And that man is me. And so Farrakhan was relating something of what the messenger had told him. And that part was true.
God, what is it that you want to tell us that would turn us back and turn us against you? He would say to us, listen to him, he's a wise man. He would say, in fact, just before he passed, I was with him one day, just he and I were together. And it was a very strange set. He said to me, Brother Farrakhan, and he was very sad. He said, in the future, when my name is mentioned, what they'll say about me is this. Oh, Elijah Muhammad, that man, yes, his teaching was good for that time, but it's not good for this time. He said it, and he dropped his head. As I read his expression, I read it not that an hypocrisy was going to rise up and people would go against his teaching, but Almighty God brought him into the realization in the last days of his life about something about his teaching. Don't you remember that he gave us histories of Jesus? Don't you remember how the old man, according to the allegorical story, met Jesus, stayed with him 3 days, and left, and that man wasn't seen anymore? It was just Jesus. And then in the last day...
That's him and Master Farad Muhammad. Master Farad Muhammad stayed with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for 3 years and approximately 4 months, and then left, and no one seen him anymore. Do you understand?
Jesus was reading in the scripture, and he found out that he was too soon to do the work that he had wanted to do.
You remember? The messenger said, I'm very little. I don't know how much is lamb about me, but I know I'm little. It's because he realized that he was not the Lamb of God. That was during that Theology of Time lecture, because he thought he was the Lamb at one time. But because it says in the volume of the book, I come, so it's easy to look at it and say, well, I must be Elijah and the Lamb, and I must be. But he realized that no, he was not the Lamb. He was Elijah. And what he had was the concept of nationhood. But that concept had to become a person, had to, he conceived it and put it in the brain of the one who would build the nation. And that's why he had to come first and prepare the way, prepare the right religion. Because without the right religious doctrine, there can't be no nation of Islam. Because you first got to know what God's will is. And the only one who knows what God's will is God. And so before the coming of God, Elijah had to come. And Elijah came and revealed who God is, and he revealed who the devil is. He knew God was one of us, but he didn't know which one. So he gave all of us an X and gave all of us the same teaching. And he knew that the right one, when that teaching got into the right brain, God would be raised. And that's what he did. He raised me from a dead level to a living perpendicular. And then told me, now, it's up to you now. Here's the books, go to it. The revelation of the book, there's no doubt in it. It can't come from nowhere but the Lord of the world. So he had to direct himself to that understanding. Wasn't nobody to direct me to the understanding of the book. If I'm the Lord, I can direct myself to the understanding of it. And that's what the Holy Quran says. He said, and he directed himself to the heaven, and it was a vapor. It was a cloud. You see.
So he went out and gave his life for the truth that he taught. Why do you think he taught us that? Why do you think he taught us about how Muhammad, may peace be upon him, died broken-hearted? Because of something he wanted to do. But it just wasn't the time. And he didn't have the right substance to do it. Master Elijah Muhammad told me that he was going to go away to study, and he would come back with a new book. He taught us that a new book was coming, right? Why a new book? Because it's only a book that verifies the man and gives the man the knowledge of how to do his job. He said, my message is only a wake-up message. Right? It's shock treatment to get a man that's mentally dead, alive, and awake, but that's not the message that the man needs to go on and do his work after I wake him up. I gotta go like Moses went to the mountain. I gotta go and get the book. Right? Well, he's past, brother and sister. That should teach you something.
As you see. See? He woke me up and his job was through. I'm the book of life. He that believeth not on me have no life in him. Why? Because the revelation of the book, there ain't no doubt in it. It can't come from nowhere but the Lord of the worlds. And so, if you agree that man have dominion over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, then man is the Lord of all worlds. So, who's the Lord of man? That's the Lord of the worlds. You see. So we here now, we are realizing, as the messenger, he helped me to realize who I am, and he told me that I need to accept my own and be myself. And so that's what I'm learning to do. It wasn't so much as getting everybody else to accept me. I had to accept me and realize myself to be who I am. And now that I have faith and trust in who I am, I can do the work that I'm supposed to do. Because ain't no mystery God coming to do nothing. You see. So now I show everybody the same courtesy that I would like to be shown. That is the teachings. That is the law of righteousness. And people that come in showing disrespect, I know they have been taught a certain way. So I tolerate so much. And I warn people. You know, if you take the time to just listen and question me, you will find that I'm not a liar. I'm not someone pretending to know something that I don't know. I'm not someone pretending to be something that I am not. If I am not the Son of Man, I don't know I'm not. Like Royal, he knew he was not Allah. He knew that. And the people that was with him knew it. And if they didn't, they should have. Because how do you say you looking at this person as being the Lord or Allah, and the man talking to you from everything but heaven? He wasn't coming out of no scriptures with you. Matter of fact, he was telling you to close your scriptures up. I didn't tell you to close your scriptures. I told you to open them. For that's where I'm getting my power from. That's where I'm getting the understanding that I'm the Lord from. And I show it to you in the book. And if you disbelieve it, well, that's your disbelief. I serve not that which you serve, nor do you serve him whom I serve, nor shall I serve that which you serve. And I've proven that. You can't find nobody that say I ever believed in their religion. I ain't never served the religious people that you and the religion claim belief in the religions that y'all been believing in. I never did. My mother and them couldn't even get me to do it. They baptized me when I was a little boy. I forgot how old I was. But that was they doing. But I never really believed in Christianity. I ain't never believed that a man that was killed 2,000 years ago somehow was my salvation. That never made no sense to me. So I couldn't claim to believe something that didn't make no sense to me. Do you understand? So when I got older, I just stopped religion. I stopped discussing religion. I believed in God. I believed there was a God, but I didn't have no idea what that God is and who that God was. So, that's the... Now look, I've been standing up here off and on for the past 3 hours with you. And you don't never see me stand up wiping sweat off and all that kind of stuff. And you got all these people out here hooping and hollering at you, grunting and moaning. And you've never heard me stand up here and you know what's coming next. Yeah, you know what's coming when he just about wound down. He's about to stick his hand in your pocket. And then you go and you get in your pocket and you start giving them your money. What you got to show for the money you done gave in church? My mother didn't have nothing to show for what she had been given in church all her life. Her old raggedy house that my daddy worked hard for and worked all his life to pay for. I watched as I was growing up, watched preachers live high and good, and the people that's going to their church didn't live so high and didn't live so good. So what would I want to be a preacher for? I don't want to be like that. So you go ahead and keep on doing what you're doing. You're going to get what you got coming. I promise you, you're going to get what you got coming. Just like Donald Trump going to get what he got coming, and all y'all that's supporting him going to get what you got coming. And it ain't nobody going to be shedding a tear over you because you chose wrong when you knew that it was wrong. But you thought there was some advantage for you. Okay? And even you had somebody who chose wrong and repented of it and warned you that you see what happened to me? He said that same thing gonna happen to you. That's what Michael Cohen told Jim Jordan and all of them. You sitting up there lying for Donald Trump. Yeah. You go ahead. Keep thinking that evil is going to win over good. Keep thinking that. You used to think that you was going to have me in slavery all my life. One of them dogs told me that when I was out west. The Firestone police pulled us over, and we had these fish trucks. And we used to plug our freezers in and then unplug them when we got ready to go out and sell the fish, and in the van. And so they knew our routine, so he pulled us over and then pretend to be checking our ID and all of this stuff, checking for warrants and stuff. Must have held us up there for, I don't want to exaggerate, but it was long enough on a hot day for the coolers, the freezers that we had in there to start kind of thawing. And so I told him, I said, Allah is God, Muhammad is his messenger, and you certainly the devil. And he said, that's right. And you gonna always be the devil's slave. And I said, we'll see about that. And then we got back to the fish house. The brother that was with me, well, Mom, I'm just provoking the police. I wasn't provoking nobody, man. What are you talking about? But anyway, they got mad at me. And but you know, that wasn't the first time that the white man had told me he was the devil. You know, I guess they been saw me. I just didn't see them. You know, and the time that I was over in East L.A. and a sergeant, he told me, he's checked my ID and stuff, and when he got finished, he said, you know the war's on, right? I say, I do now. And I had just stood up. And that's how they talk to me. You know. So, you know, Allah, he made them see me. So they always showed me respect, you know, but they told me the facts of life, just in case I didn't believe. Allah made sure I did, because I got it straight from the horse's mouth. And so, but I didn't know what the war was going to be at that time, you know. But I was ready for whatever, you know. And then as I grew, I realized that it wasn't the kind of war that we all thought. Wasn't the bloodshed and all that. No, it's the war of the minds, you see. So, you know, he been busy preparing for that physical warfare. But it never was about physical warfare. If Allah wanted to destroy you physically, he don't need no ships and all that stuff. We got the ocean. We can sink yours. We can make the earth throw up on you. What good will your bombs and stuff do you then? We can make the earth open up and swallow you. We can make your bombs blow up in your silos. All this nuclear stuff you got, you can make it blow up right there in your silo. Don't you know electrical stuff ain't loyal to nobody? You ain't got no nothing you gonna do to us. You just think you gonna do something to us. You ain't gonna do nothing to me. So anyway, I'm gonna let you go. And just remember, I offered you peace. I offered forgiveness to you. I offered peace to you. And I told you who I am. And I offered you $50,000 if you could bring somebody in here that can prove that I'm not the Son of Man. Just bring them on. Okay. So may Allah bless us, keep us safe, and in our right minds. And if it pleases Allah, I look forward to talking with you tomorrow at prayer service. May Allah's Salam Alaikum